Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this edition of the 700 Club. And Terry, you remember you and I were here yesterday. And you remember I made an astounding prediction. I said, I believe that the Secretary of State will resign. Rex Tillerson is going to go because he's been shabbily treated.
Yeah, and today
he's out.
Yeah, that's
all right. Well, let's show that clip. Here's what we said yesterday. I also think that Secretary Tillerson is probably going to resign because he was not included in this at all.
Oh,
well,
why wasn't he included? Do you think is that just a lack of understanding the appropriate way to do this, or what's the?
Look, this man was one of the biggest business executives in America. He headed up ExxonMobil, highly compensated, highly regarded. It's a concession for him to join the team. So he's now Secretary of State, which is a very high level. Mm-hmm. And when you have a Secretary of State and you're the president, you call him and say, look, what do you think? I've been invited to go to North Korea. Do you think I should accept? Now, he can say yes, no, maybe, and then the president can go ahead and do what he wants to do.
But he made the gesture.
But yeah, but he didn't bother to conclude even any of it. And I knew he was going to resign. The administration is saying that they've dismissed him. Not true. I mean, it didn't happen that way. I mean, I said it yesterday. He was going to resign. But a big-time, proud business executive, you don't treat them this way. I mean.
Well, you had said yesterday he almost can't not respond in this way.
Well, I knew he was going to resign. Sure enough, today, I mean, hey, it happened within 24 hours. Watch this program. Now, the one thing I didn't know is that the CIA Director is going to be put into Secretary of State. And Mike Pompeo is a terrific guy. And our CBN News Chief International Correspondent, Gary Lane, is with us. And Gary, I knew that Tillerson was going to resign after the fact that he wasn't included in discussions about a visit to North Korea. What about Mike Pompeo? You interviewed him several times. Tell us what you know about him.
Well, he's very tough on national security. He's more of the mindset of President Trump. So the president wants someone who thinks the same way he does. He is a conservative, Pat, tough on Iran. When he was a member of the House of Representatives, he opposed the Iran nuclear agreement that Barack Obama had negotiated. He thinks it's a bad deal, just like President Trump does. Also on North Korea, he has the goal, as the president does, to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula, but he also believes you need to be tough on Madman, they call him, Kim Jong-un, Rocket Man. And maybe he wouldn't use the same terminology as the president, but he is of the same mindset that he has to be stopped in North Korea.
Do you have any take on Tillerson? I think he was, frankly, treated somewhat shabbily, but
Well, look, the president was at odds with Tillerson repeatedly. If you remember on North Korea when the president said, we'll rain down fire and fury, Tillerson was outraged. That's what everyone was saying. He was outraged about that comment. He tried to backpedal the president's comments, maybe soften it a bit, and he's done this repeatedly. So the president has been at odds with Rex Tillerson. Now, Rex Tillerson also has no government experience. With Mike Pompeo, you get a man who was on Intelligence Committee in the House, very smart guy, more of the mindset of the president. He'll be a good fit with Donald Trump.
And Mike Pompeo is a very dedicated Christian. They have a prayer meeting every week, don't they?
He's a part of those prayer meetings. And let me say this about Mike Pompeo. Not only is he a devout Christian, but he was first in his class at West Point. I mean, this guy is no dummy, and he's a very strong military man. He's pro-military. He served with the 4th Infantry in Eastern Europe, right on the border of Eastern Europe, also in the Gulf War. So he has battle experience. He's a military guy, sharp man, first in his class at West Point, Pat, and that's nothing to discount.
Gary, thank you.
Sure.
Well, we congratulate the new Secretary of State. I guess he's got to get confirmed by the Senate, but there's no question that'll happen. Well, in other news, there's no concern about global warming in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic today. they've been hit by the third major nor'easter in less than 2 weeks. And I might add, here in balmy Virginia Beach, I looked out the door about 10 o'clock or so last night, and lo and behold, the snow was pelting down. We had about an inch of snow or something.
Yeah, we really did. Everything was beautifully white, but it's already melting here.
Yeah.
The storm has stretched from North Carolina up to New York City, up to Boston and Maine, bringing high winds and icy roads. Charlene Aaron has the story.
More than 1 million people are under a winter weather advisory or warning as a late winter storm dumped up to a foot of snow on the Ohio Valley and downed trees in the Carolinas. The National Weather Service has issued a blizzard warning for much of the Massachusetts coast, a winter storm warning for most of New England, and a winter weather advisory for portions of New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Millions in the Northeast still recovering from the previous back-to-back storms that left millions without power.
We will be enacting a snow emergency starting tonight at 7 o'clock in the city of Boston. The Boston Public Schools are closed for tomorrow.
This latest storm is on track to bring coastal floods and powerful winds. Some in the Northeast are weary of the continual bad weather.
Never had a problem until this last storm, and now you feel a little bit of unease every time you hear about another one coming.
The storm also brought snow to the mid-Atlantic coast, including Virginia and the Carolinas. More than 3 inches of snow and sleet fell in parts of central North Carolina. Road crews in some parts of the state had to clear roads every 15 to 20 minutes. Drivers in Boone, North Carolina, were forced to abandon their cars.
I don't mind to go up the hill, I just don't want to come down it. You just have to take it slow and easy.
The winter weather is also affecting air travel. More than 1,000 flights have been canceled for today and tomorrow.
There's no way that I'm getting out. So I just went to Delta, and they said that everything is sold out.
While the first 2 storms of the month brought coastal flooding and hundreds of thousands of power outages, more power outages are possible with this latest storm. Many are hoping they won't be as widespread as last week. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Thanks. I've just gotten a book called The Politically Incorrect Guide to Global Warming. And it just debunks some of this global warming nonsense because it is like a religion. And now we're seeing, it looks like global cooling is actually what's coming on. We may be on the way for another little ice age instead of more warming. So a lot of people are going to have egg in their face. And this book congratulates the senator from Oklahoma who has been steadfast against the religion of global warming. But, I mean, we've had some pretty severe weather so far, lots of snow. I know west to terrific ice pack up in the Sierra Mountains, which will mean there'll be plenty of water for California. Well, in other news, Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee have finished their investigations into Russia's meddling in the presidential election. And here's John Jessup to tell us what they found.
Thanks, Pat. Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee are ending their Russia investigation. A draft report concludes there was no conclusion or coordination between Russia and Donald Trump's presidential campaign. President Trump praised the announcement, tweeting his approval. Texas Congressman Mike Conaway says the committee has finished interviewing witnesses and will share the report with Democrats today. Democrats are saying Republicans have caved in to the White House.
We've seen some perhaps meetings that were inappropriate or ill-advised to have taken. We've seen some chance coincidences where people bump into each other in various places, but no evidence of collusion.
The fundamental problem from the beginning was that my colleagues viewed their job as protecting their client, the president, rather than getting to the truth. And I think that's a grave disservice to the country.
After the panel's year-long probe, they plan to release a 150-page report on their findings based on 73 interviews and over 300,000 documents. Meanwhile, Pat, the Senate investigation of course Special Counsel Bob Mueller's investigation continues.
Well, I think it's time we stop this stuff. You know Ron Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, he said, oh, well, Mueller's just doing great. Everything's wonderful. He's a man of great integrity. I think it's time to stop this stuff. We've got to get on with running this country. And for the president to be diverted month after month, the House Ethics Committee and Intelligence Committee has made a thorough study of this. There is no collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. And there may have been some meetings, as they say, and some of them may have been ill-advised. But that's not the same thing as deliberate collusion. And the special counsel now is going on a witch hunt. He's into everything. And I think it's time we rein him in. I think enough. I mean, the president can certainly shut him down, but that wouldn't be politically feasible. But I think he needs some help. The Attorney General can say enough. And that's what the Attorney General is pointed for. He said, well, I'm going to recuse myself from Russia, but this is a different matter. And I think his deputy has put this man in charge. And he's been a very fine public servant, and he has done a great deal of work, and he's found some people, some Russians, I might add, who have done something, and he's got them indicted. But I think it's time to shut him down. And I think the president needs to get on with the job of being the chief executive of the United States. You know, we got this guy, and he's supposed to run the country. He has a huge portfolio. He's got to manage the foreign affairs. He's got to manage the domestic affairs. We're looking at tax implementation. We're looking at, for example, there was a merger of a couple of major companies that he shot down. A Singapore company was trying to take over Qualcomm, and he said, no way. And that was a good move. But, I mean, this is the president. He's got to do these things. And it's time to stop hammering him on this nonsense about Russian involvement. It's over. And the House committee has done a thorough job. And I can't see why we couldn't say, Mr. Mueller, you're a nice man. Thank you very much for your service. And go home. John.
Pat, well, for the first time since winning the White House, President Trump travels to California today, where he'll be inspecting prototypes for his wall along the border with Mexico. CBN News first reported on those wall models last October. The president will look at 8 30-foot tall versions. Numerous rallies, both for and against the wall, are expected. The president's visit comes amid growing tensions between the administration and California state officials over enforcing immigration laws. Well, voters in southwest Pennsylvania went to the polls for a special congressional election today. Polls have shown a tight race between Republican Rick Saccone and Democrat Connor Lamb. Trump campaigned for Saccone over the weekend. Although the president won the district by 20 points in the 2016 election, Democrats believe they have a shot at winning the district as a sign that they can take back the House in November's congressional elections. Former Reagan administration member Larry Kudlow has emerged as a candidate to replace Gary Cohn as President Trump's top economic advisor. Cohn resigned after the president moved ahead with his plan for tariff hikes on steel and aluminum. Kudlow is considered a free trader who opposes tariffs, but he does share many of the president's concerns about China's actions against the United States on trade. Well, if you want to increase your chances of staying healthy as you age, exercise regularly over time. 2 new British studies say our bodies don't have to break down regularly as we get older. The American Council on Science and Health reports that one of the studies found adults who routinely exercise fuel their bodies to stay healthy and function as if they were much younger than they really are. Among the benefits, exercise can help preserve muscle mass and strength. And Pat, get this, it can keep your immune system younger too.
So happy. I tell you what, folks, really, I'm not getting paid by Total Gym, but I really think that Total Gym is a bomb. They've got about 70 different exercises.
A good bomb.
A good bomb. It's a bomb like good bomb. But, you know, I did a bunch of squats with it. You set the thing up as a squat, and you can do, you know, 60 or 70
You can do
squats.
a lot of things with a Total Gym. That's
exactly.
the name, right?
Well, you can do, I was doing something else, you know, with my arms, you know, and it's just a marvelous machine. And it's the kind of thing that an older person can use. And it's your own body weight that you decide what to do, so the chances of getting hurt are almost nil. So, you know, it's really good. And they cost, well, they're not free. They used to cost over $1,000. I don't know what they do now. Yeah. I think you can get them a few $100s now, but they really are good. And, you know, so Why not exercise?
Worthy of your time, based on that last report.
And you know, we keep exercising, and we keep getting younger all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. You're going the opposite direction.
I'm going. I hope I'm doing. But hey, well, you know, you look at Noah and God's at 120. I mean, that's our. It isn't 70 years, not 80 years. It's 120.
There you go.
Whew, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, long time ago.
Talk nicely about me when I'm gone, will you?
Thank you. I remember old Terry. She was so sweet.
She was a good
all
girl.
right.